Gallagher, the mayor of the city of Bettendorf, Iowa. Today is Friday, June 21st, 2024. Welcome to my office here at City Hall for our mayor's message. Today we are joined by our Director of Community Development, Mark Hunt, and our Senior Planner, Taylor Beswick. They're going to talk to us a little bit about something that we passed, the first reading of which this week here at City Council, our comprehensive use plan we're calling Premiering Bettendorf. Big plan. So gentlemen, what is a comprehensive use plan and why is it important to have one for the city of Bettendorf?
Thanks, Mayor. Land use plans can be thought of as a way the city wants to show the public how they want to grow and where they want to grow and what type of land use they want to happen when they grow. Maybe we want some housing in a certain part of town, we want some industrial in a different part of town and commercial in between the two. And that's what the land use plan does. It plans for our growth. It is the precursor to the zoning ordinance that comes later down the road. So you plan for use and then you create zoning law to regulate that use.
So we updated a plan that we had, and this has got all kinds of pictures and all kinds of information. It's on our website, but the plan update is different than a new plan. Why did we just kind of revise or update the plan we had?
Well, it really wasn't very old. The plan is, they usually last about 10 years. The plan was only about 5 years old. But what we noticed was after COVID, we had a lot of change in uses. In the way developers want to build everything from houses to commercial to industrial has changed due to COVID and changes in the economy probably as well. We also saw a lot of growth in our population. We grew quickly over the last 10 years and are still growing quickly. So we thought rather than wait for that normal 10-year cycle to go ahead and jump in and do an update, try and capture some of those new uses, plan for them, and note our growth in population and see where that puts us total population-wise. And I think it's interesting to share that right now, if we continue to grow as we have been in the past 10 years, we'll be at 48,881 people by the year 2045. Now that's just a guess, it's just an estimate.
Sure, it's a projected growth.
But that's what we try to plan for. If that's what's going to happen, then how do we want to use the land and what land do we have within the city? Where might we need to grow the borders of the city to meet that population?
Taylor, you were the one that put a lot of sweat equity into this product. Talk to us about some of those considerations and how that shaped up into the plan.
Sure. So this plan, as Mark mentioned, is 2045, so it's 20 years ahead. We've got to areas of town which are undeveloped, but we're seeing development occur. We looked at these areas near our I-80 border, near our border with Scott County on Criswell,
Sure.
and even farther out to our border with Davenport and even out by Eldridge. So we looked at things such as annexation, where our future parks are going to be, how we're going to get transportation to those areas, and that's really what this plan changed. The developed parts of town, we think those are going to be pretty well established, so not a lot of change there. But you'll see a lot of changes on our future land use map, which is an integral part of this plan, on our I-80 corridor near the TBK Sports Complex, and also east of our current border, we're looking at some annexation areas east of Criswell, between Wells Ferry Road and Criswell right now.
The city has done a lot of different plans, and those are very important to how we grow and the things that we do. Things like Parks Master Plan and Downtown Master Plan. This plan kind of brought all that stuff together. Tell me how you did that.
Sure. We've had, since 2017, when this plan was last adopted, really updated and rewritten, we've had a new downtown master plan, new parks plan, we've had trails plans, we've had downtown housing assessments, the list goes on.
Right.
So all of those plans have been looked at, those metrics, those new figures, those new sub-area plans have been integrated and they're aligned with this overall comprehensive plan for the city going forward. If we need to update this plan, that can be done. This is a living document, so as soon as we adopt it, there'll be changes made in the future.
But this does help give that roadmap of where we're headed in the future, and then why. There's a bunch of explanation and maybe even some discussion in the plan about the considerations, what we think about those considerations, and how they've helped shape the decisions in the plan, right? So we at City Council on Tuesday night passed the first reading and had the public hearing. There'll be 2 more readings of the plan in July. We also passed the Downtown Master Plan first reading, 2 more readings in July at those 2 meetings as well. What happens after we pass all 3 readings of our plans?
So the next work in this litany of approvals is the zoning ordinance. So we plan for using the land, how we want to use it, then we have to have a zoning ordinance that represents our desired use, right? And our zoning ordinance that we have now still remains in effect, but we're going to update it to match what we've planned for. So thinking about areas on the north side of town where we have some potential residential growth, how do we want that residential growth to look? Does our zoning ordinance right now for residential zoning meet that vision? And if it doesn't, then we'll meet with council, propose changes, and council will vote on those changes in the ordinance.
And in the 2017 plan, we started looking at zoning a little bit differently. More development character areas, how things look and feel, so council can get an understanding of the whole plan instead of, well, I'm going to put a gas station here and then I think somebody's going to buy this for some houses in 10 years or whatever that may be. So that's a change in lexicon or terminology, if you will. That's going to have to be updated as we move into this zoning ordinance too, because we're changing some of that in this plan update.
That's exactly right. We're talking about new uses, more modern or contemporary uses, and we probably need to make zoning categories or zoning districts that match those modern use definitions. For example, the trend now is everything is built in commercial infrastructure with a drive-through. That didn't happen before, so we didn't have the zoning code that contemplated drive-throughs in the capacity that we see them now, where you have them at restaurants, dry cleaners, but you also have them at coffee shops and ice cream shops now. And before, 10 years ago, that really wasn't the case. They were mainly a fast food use, and that's kind of where they occurred. So they have different externalities, is the term we use. They stack traffic differently. Our zoning code needs to address that, and that's what we're going to work on next.
How long a process is it to get through the zoning code?
Yeah, so it's an ordinance of the city, so of course it takes 3 readings. And
Sure, but the
votes
work
by
before
council.
that was
But the
gonna
work
take some
before
significant
is
time.
probably 6 to 9 months
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah, so we won't be really looking at
yeah.
this until probably next calendar year for sure.
Yeah, the zoning code is, in paper, is probably 4 inches thick. I mean, it's thicker than this document because
Absolutely.
it contemplates everything from parking to signs to, you name it. If you want to build something, that will define in the zoning code where and how you can build it.
Exactly, yeah, right. Well, I appreciate all the work that went into this. We've had a lot of great public input as well. Talk us through that public input process and how many times and how did we reach out to the public and allow them to bring us feedback?
Sure. We kicked off officially in May of last year. We had a online page for the comprehensive plan.
Right.
That online web page also hosted a interactive map where citizens or people outside of Bettendorf that come through Bettendorf could pinpoint on that map what their vision was for the future of Bettendorf in that spot. We had comments such as more roundabouts, parks, park amenities, land uses, annexation. Everything was on that map. So we took that. That was that was going on. It just shut down, I think, last month. So just getting ready for
Because we've got it put together.
yeah. So that was one form of background input. We also had many meetings with our local stakeholders, such as our Rotary Club, school groups.
Yep.
We had a large open house in November where the public was invited down to the Waterfront Center. We've done many interactions with our Planning and Zoning Commission and City Council. We had work sessions, either joint or separate. There's been a lot of public meetings going on,
Yeah.
and then a lot of meetings internally, of course, with
Yeah, yeah.
staff
You're doing
and
all the work
department
behind the
heads.
scenes. Right.
So there's been a lot of work in concert with RDG, the consultant hired with us or by us to help us update this plan.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We appreciate the hard work, and we appreciate you all watching the Mayor's Message. Have a great weekend. All of this information's on our website, should you be interested. You can even go to our YouTube channel and watch the presentation they gave on Monday night to Committee of the Whole, to City Council. So take a look. If you have further questions, let us know. Here's the team that put it together. Have a great weekend.